You met this girl, you thought she was cute on the picture, and where did it go from, how did it develop from that? Because I remember you mentioning something about you thought you were writing to her, but you were actually writing to somebody else. What was that all about?
Well, that was the agent that she was working through. So what was happening was, for about the first month, I thought I was talking to her, but in fact I was talking to someone else who was writing on her behalf and pretending to be if you like. It was only sort of a month into it where she actually went to her friend's house, got on Skype, because we used Skype a lot back then.
Sure.
So I could actually see her and talk to her, because I didn't want to waste time. I wanted to know as quickly as I could she was real, she wasn't just a made-up person, and that she actually was the person in the picture. And then subsequently I came to Thailand pretty soon after that. I think about 2 months after I met her, I came here.
And it was Khon. It was a resort, I believe, on the outskirts of Khon.
Yeah, there's a resort just near the airport, like it's within walking distance actually, and I recommend it. It's a really nice place to stay if you do stay in the north of Thailand.
So let's get to that point then. So you decided to come over to Thailand. You went up to the resort, you checked into a nice hotel, you got a nice room. Had you met her yet before you got to the hotel, or did she meet you at the airport? Or?
There's a funny story there, because she actually met me at the airport, and about half the village came.
Oh my God.
There was something like 30 family members. I mean, you would have thought the king had just arrived. And I felt very shy, to be approached by that many people. So she picked me up from the airport, and we went in her father's car to the resort. She asked me at the front desk, I will never forget, she said, "Would you like me to stay with you?"
Oh.
And I said, no brainer, of course I would.
Of course I would.
So then her family went home and we checked into the hotel, really nice room. And I said, look, I need a shower, so bags down. I went and had a shower, came back, and she then quickly said to me, look, Liam, I need to tell you something. And looking very serious, and I thought, what can this be about? And she said, I need to tell you, because I don't want you to hear it from anyone else, but I've been working as a freelancer in Phuket for the last 8 years. I was floored by that comment. It's like, what do you say? What do you do? Do you walk out of the room? Do you leave her, or you tell her to get out? I mean, but she still seemed, and I had been talking to her for a couple of months, she seemed like a lovely person. But there's a feeling in your gut where you just go, what do I do? What do I do in this situation, She actually had wanted to tell me before I turned up in Thailand, but the agent she was working through advised her not to. And I think that was probably the right decision, because had she told me while I was still in Australia, I probably wouldn't have come to visit her. I would have looked for someone else. But anyway, she told me, I digested that. I mean, we've spoken quite a bit together about this. I've asked her history and how she came to be doing this. And, like many girls, it was basically to support the family. They just didn't have the money. And she could be making in one day what took her all week to make in a shoe factory in Khon. But look, in the end, I said to her, look, I'm here, I've booked the room, I've got 10 days. Let's just put the past to bed and let's get on with it and see if there is something, some sort of relationship that we can have. And she assured me that she wasn't going to go back to that work anymore.
How did the love develop, if that's the right way to put it?
Well, to use a word famous on this channel, there were no aerobics on that first visit. It was purely a get to know you. We did share the room, we did share the bed together, but no, there was nothing beyond that for that first trip.
But emotionally, did that stop you getting involved with I'll use the word you've just used, with the aerobics? Was it anything to do with psychological that you were thinking, well, I don't know, who she's been with when she was with them, or is it just a case of you really were kind of shocked and you just wanted to kind of have time to come down as well and think about the whole situation?
Look, I was shocked. I mean, when somebody admits to you within the space of an hour and a half of me being in the country, that's the industry that I used to work in, I was pretty shocked. And it was quite an emotional moment.
Okay, so you're in a room in Khon. You've met this wonderful girl. She's told you she's a freelancer. What was it about her? At what point did you decide, do you know what, I don't care. She's a nice girl and I want to have a go at this?
I think it was more the second or third day of being there with her. I mean, look, there's no doubt she was really lovely. I'd seen from the photos that she was lovely. She honestly did have a lovely nature, and I don't think, you know, after 2 or 3 days of knowing her, I could see that she really wasn't the sort of person that was going to spend the rest of her life in that sort of industry. She actually was a genuine sort of family girl.
Do you mind if I ask you how old she was at the time and how old you were at the time?
Yeah, she was 32. Okay. I was nearly 49, so there's about a 17-year age gap, and that's a little bit more than I wanted. I was actually looking for someone closer to my own age at the time, but I thought, no, she's lovely. So.
Destiny, as it were, yeah. So okay, so how you said you were in Thailand for about 10 days on that trip.
Yep.
And how many days had you spent with Om before you went back to Australia?
Well, I was there for 10 days, yeah, and she spent the entire time with me.
Okay, so all right, so you've built up some kind of relationship. So you head back to Australia. You've got time to think now. And how were you feeling when you got back to Australia? You must have been processing all this information. How did you think, I'm mad? What am I doing? Or, you know, I don't care what anybody thinks. I like her. Or what was going through your mind actually, Liam?
Well, to be honest with you, I know that when I got back to Australia, Om thought she was never going to hear from me again.
Okay.
She told me this later. She thought, oh, he's putting on a brave face. He's enjoyed his time. He's had his fun. He's gone. I'll never see him again. But I was on the phone to her within a couple of days of being back.
Did you find you had to give her that secure feeling again and again? Keep saying to her, look, don't worry. You know, I am coming back, and because she has these doubts.
No, I think she was really happy that that I contacted her soon. She told me that she thought I'll never hear from you again.
Yeah.
And you know, look, Thai girls are lovely. It's really hard to not
I know.
not find a reason to stay with them.
I mean, what would you say to anybody? Like, you know, a lot of people will watch this video. They'll leave comments, and I'm sure most people will be understanding. But you'll get the odd person who will ask you and say, look, at that time when you found out there's thousands of beautiful girls in Thailand, why didn't you just walk out the door or say, no, I'm sorry, and look for an alternative? What was it? What made you decide it doesn't matter?
Look, there are thousands of beautiful girls in Thailand, but finding a nice one that doesn't lie to you, you know, doesn't have a husband or children hidden away somewhere, you know, there's all sorts of other things that can happen. And she was single, she had no children. I met her family, she took me to her home where she lived. I had dinner with her parents. Everything seemed fine to me, you know, so I had no reason to doubt her really. But yeah, look, it did play on my mind a lot, you know. Now, hey, look, here I am with a freelancer.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah. So another question I'd like to ask you, and if I'm overstepping the mark here a little bit, let me know and we'll move on. But knowing what she'd done for a living, now we know, you know, looking at other guys, we know that, you know, from the stories that I tell on this channel, there are guys and girls, guys who have met girls in a similar situation. They've met them in bars, whatever, and they've come together and had a relationship, but the girl has been kind of still carried on working on the side. What were you not afraid of this, or was there something that gave you confidence that she wouldn't do it? Was it just her telling you she wouldn't do it, or what gave you the confidence to not worry about that?
Well, look, I thought a lot about my own past. I mean, I'm no angel, you know. I've had periods in my life where it's been a different girl every week, and sometimes two. Except I didn't get paid for it, you know. And I try not to place too much emphasis on that. Yes, you do worry about it. How many guys has she been with? Will she go back to it? But I saw no reason for her to. She actually said to me that she's not unlike a lot of Western men that go to these bars and they hope they might meet the girl of their dreams. You know, they go, I think you're looking in the wrong place if you do that. But she was hoping that she would meet a man who would stay with her. She was actively looking you know. But she was in the wrong place.